Just a short word about the conduit we use for the Starlink project. Let's see, does this even say? It's 2-inch. 2-inch, this, oh yeah, here it is. 2-inch conduit. This is actually conduit, and this is just PVC. I had this, this is 1.5 PVC. I had this around the farm. And I wasn't going to use it for the conduit, but I did cut off a piece long enough to go in and test the plug. And the Starlink plug will get through this gap. It's kind of an L-shaped thing. And when I was testing it on the short piece, I wasn't happy with that. It was so tight that, okay, the 6-inch piece, I can get it through and not wreck the plug. But I was thinking you would not get that through a 30-foot section of conduit, especially with some curves and bends and elbows and stuff. So when I went to shopping for conduit, I knew I had to be bigger than 1.5 PVC, so I took that piece with me. And at the Menards where I was shopping, the 2-inch was the one that was bigger. And so that should give plenty of room, because this pipe will just slide in here and have room to wiggle. So that's the 2-inch conduit that we used. Now let me go show you where we have this all installed, and I think we're ready for concrete. So let me show you that. All right. So with everything being 2-inch, it sure looks big. I don't know what else you can do with it. But here's our conduit. We got the little box there. We'll take the cover off that, which will allow us to snake the Starlink cable through there. Our trench should be deep enough for what we're doing here, and we will square all this stuff up and make sure it is level. Now the box is going to follow the terrain. If I leveled that up, then the far corner would be 3 to 5 inches higher, and then we would have a level concrete pad for this thing. And then have to do what? Put dirt to it and slope down from the higher edge. The whole point of this is so that after we're done, and this is a little concrete pad with a pole in the middle of it, is the pole is going to be relatively plumb, level, square, standing straight up, and the concrete doesn't matter so much. But what I want to be able to do is when I mow through here, to have the edge of the mower deck go over the concrete and just mow that real nice. Whereas if I raise this up to level, so that box is level with level in all directions, then the far edge would be, like say, sticking up and out by a lot. And then I'm going to have a berm basically leading up to that. And so that's just counterproductive for having it nuzzle up to the grass real nice. So that box is just mostly trying to follow the grass, and everything else. The other thing we did is when we look at where Starlink is pointing right now, let me step back here. I'm gonna cement the post in the ground so that this base will turn basically 90 degrees and kind of be in line with where the dish seems to always be pointing. That's warm. It shouldn't be defrosting itself now, so maybe it just collects heat from running or collects heat from the sun, sky, I don't know, sun. Anyway, so the base would turn and follow this and bolt to our four corners, and that's going to be it. Starlink right here. The wire will go down, and this little cap comes off, gives you plenty of room to start fishing and pushing the wire through. So we'll figure out something. I think we've actually got a wire snake we can run in that. Pull the wire up to the side of the house with that cover off, punch it inside, and then once we're inside, we're just in the basement. We'll tack it up to the floor joists and get it over to the interior room where we already bring our internet up into it's in our pantry, is where the boxes live right down the neck here. So we will do the same for Starlink and get it in there. And then we will be ready to backfill the trench and done. I need to silicone that hole around where this goes in, stuff that full so there's no question about any little moisture or anything going in there. So that's this is our project. I don't necessarily say that everybody should be doing this to their Starlink, but this is what we're doing. And I think I'm going to be glad I did everything I did here when I get done. So we'll show you more. We'll pour some concrete later today and get that that thing all set, and then we'll probably let that cure for a day, and then we'll start finding a time to feed the wiring in and through. Stay tuned. All right, so moving along, we've got our concrete in there. This thing is cured and hardened pretty good, and I took the screws out of the dish so I can set that on there now. So I wonder if we're going to see it realign itself. So let's try that. That's where it's going to live. And then I'm going to bolt it down right now. And then we will feed the wiring through the conduit at another time, because I'm not ready to shut down Starlink that long for today. Whenever you go buy concrete, you do like I did. You say, I need about 6 bags, so you get 10. That way you'll have plenty. And then we didn't. I wish I had 2 more, because you can see it's not as, I didn't get the 2x4 frame filled up, and that would have turned out better if I had like 2 more bags. Would have been done 1 more batch in our mixer, and so super bummer on that. There's 14 bags of concrete in here times 60 pounds. I don't have that math ready in my head, but that and the metal post is naturally filled with concrete just from it being a basement support post. You should be able to hit this with pretty much the tractor and not move it, but you know, I'm not going to try that either. But I don't think you're going to bump it with the mower and do any damage. The dirt will get filled in and bridged up to the concrete height, and that way the whole idea is that I can put the edge of the mower deck over that concrete on my way by every time. Not disturb the dish, not blow grass on the dish, and you know, basically life should be happy with the dish here. So let me bolt it down now that I moved it, and I was kind of thinking it would take off and realign itself because it stopped seeing its satellites, and it probably will. If it doesn't, then I'll go inside, I'll unplug it, wait a minute, plug the dish cord back in, and I think it will decide to go find itself. And maybe while I'm putting the bolts in, I'll hear it take off and align itself. Anyways, cord through the conduit is kind of our next step. Alright, I'm going to point you guys at the dish, because it didn't realign itself in the first 5 minutes after just walking it over there. It has to have known that, or noticed that it was offline. So what I'm going to do is go inside on the Starlink router. I'm going to unplug the cable to the dish, give it a minute, then I'm going to plug it back in. So I'm going to leave you recording so that when that takes off, it might be kind of fun to see. All right, so I'm back. Interesting thing here. I don't know if you guys got to see that thing move or not, but I unplugged and replugged in the router, and then Starlink realized it was offline, found the satellite or did something, and then it's back online. But the weird thing is it's back online in this orientation, when normally the face of it would be this way, which is why we put the stand this way. It was just, you know, so it all kind of, you know, match a little bit. So I guess, you know, it figures out where the satellites are, and it's doing something now, because it has a signal and I have internet, so really cool. You guys got it all figured out up there somewhere. So that's it for this. I'm going to, we'll backfill this trench here before long, get our bark fabric back where it goes, scrape the bark back over it, get it nice. We'll get the dirt worked out and figured out up along here too. Get the pallet stack out of here, and take our forms off the concrete, and then we'll be looking awesome. Thank you for, well, stay tuned, there's more. Alright, even with as big as our conduit is, I think I talked about that being ample size before, I was thinking this was gonna be easier than it is, but if you just start pulling, when you pull on this cord, it feels like it's going to leverage this end against the side of the pipe, and anything along the way that's going to stick to it is going to jam it, make it worse. And once it gets past this entry point down here, there's no coming back. Even if I were to tie something to this to try to come back, I don't think you're going to be able to get that. So we got to be good to go the first try. So what we're going to do is we're going to double this over. This loop won't matter, but we got a pile of zip ties. And hold on, Taylor, I'll tell you when. And so we're going to try and zip tie it in this position as best we can. Maybe 10 zip ties or 6 or whatever it takes to get this to kind of look like this. And then I think it'll pull through. So that's what we're going to try. Be careful when you're doing this part, guys. All right, so basement wise, this is all pretty easy, straightforward. We come in our pipe up there and we just follow along the joists. We zip tied it to some existing pipes and came down here. She went upstairs and took a couple extra feet up with her, and I coiled the rest and left it there. So let's go upstairs and plug it in. Hopefully it works. Wouldn't that be crazy? All right, this is in our pantry, and basically what we did was bring the cable for Starlink up through the floor. There's a whole bunch of Netgear crap in that basket, and Starlink dish or router just sits out here in the front. And it's back on. We've got good strength. Things are good. I'll show you outside one last time, and then we'll get this video posted. Alright, this is the wrap up for this. We've got a few things we've got to put back away. Trying to remember where I left off last time, because my memory is we were trying to get we actually have a conduit wire snake. It's really meant for 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch metal electrical conduit. And when we'd push it through this PVC conduit, like, you know, it would try to go, and as soon as it would come up the second elbow, it wouldn't move anymore. And it would just flex and bend and flex and bend, and we just couldn't get it to go anymore. So we had to go to the string. The twine idea is you tie 4 or 5 knots on the end of it, set a vacuum running on one end of your pipe, start dribbling the string into the pipe, and it will come out the other end. And that worked really good, just as you would ever want it to. So we got the twine through the pipe, I believe I was talking to you earlier about hooking onto that, so we did that. We've got the slack out of the line. We did the basement thing. He's got the forms out the concrete. Now, the last thing we need to do, we need to pick up like the hoses and stuff. I get that. But we've got to get these pallets out of here. And we want to haul in a little bit of good dirt for filling in our trench and for butting up against our concrete. But our tractor battery is dead. And it's the second time, and I could go jump it, and then we'd be here and we'd get this done. But it's getting dark already. Tomorrow night we have kid things, and I'm in town anyway, so I'm gonna get a new battery for the pickup. The pickup battery goes in the tractor. Then that leaves Thursday, when we will, the tractor be kind of more back in business, and we'll come backfill the trench. We'll sidle our dirt up to our concrete here, probably throw down some seed, scrape back the chunks of weird dirt that are here, get some more of the grass back exposed, and before long this will turn nice again, and trench will be filled in, and we'll be mowing across this just like it never happened. And I'm pretty happy with how this all turned out. You don't have to have this big of a project to mount a Starlink dish. So if you don't have Starlink and you're thinking, wow, I gotta do all that crap, no, you don't. But I did, and I just wanted to show it to you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't know that there's not a good reason for any more update on this. So probably more about Starlink as we go through time. I'll show you some speeds and things and whatever. So thanks for watching. See you on the next video. If you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe. Appreciate that too.